Hello and welcome to Nikolay's genetics lessons, and today I'm going to show you how to solve probability problem which medical students usually get on the exam. And here's the problem: a certain disease affects 1 out of 10,000 people. There is a test to check whether the person has the disease. The test is quite accurate. In particular, we know that first, the probability that the test results is positive, suggesting that person has a disease, given that the person doesn't have a disease, is only 2%. So what does this sentence means? This test is pretty accurate, and only 2% of the people who test positive actually don't have this disease. So this is false positive, which is only 2%. Next statement: the probability that the test result is negative, suggesting that person doesn't have the disease, given that the person has the disease, is only 1%. And this statement tells us that, for example, if you have a disease, there is 1% probability that you will still test negative. So it's going to be false negative, which is 1%. Now the question: a random person gets tested for the disease and the result comes back positive. What is the probability that the person has the disease? Some people may say that probability is 99%, some people would say 98%, some people say that probability is 97% that this person has a disease. Actually, real numbers are very different from what you probably think. Our first step would be, in this type of the problems, to start with very large population. For example, 1 million people. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 million people. So, and in this population, we are told that 1 out of 10,000 people has a disease. So let's split this population into two groups. So 1 out of 10,000 is going to have this disease, and that means that 10 people out of 100,000 and 100 people out of 1 million. So we are going to have 100 people in this population that is going to have this disease, if occurrence of this disease 1 per 10,000 people. And if 100 people out of a million has a disease, that means that the rest doesn't have a disease. And this is going to be 999,900. By the way, the method which we are going to use today is called forked line method, which we very frequently using in genetics. Now our step would be, take a look, we have 100 people in this population who has a disease. But because 1% would be falsely negative, we can say that out of this 100 people, 1 person is going to have this disease. So 1 out of 100 is going to have this disease, but would be falsely negative. So 1 person. So P stands for the person. So I would underline with green color. Will show that this person phenotypically is going to be normal as a result of this test, but actually he is going to have this disease. And the rest out of this 100, so it's going to be 99 over 100, which is going to be 99 people, would show a disease as a result of this test, and they actually is going to have this disease. Show disease and actually have a disease. Doesn't show disease, but actually have a disease. Now let's talk about this group of people. We know that out of this million, only 100 is going to have this disease. The rest is not going to have a disease. But our test is going to show 2% of false positive in the whole population. So out of this people, 2% we expect to be falsely positive. So it's going to be 2 out of 100. It's going to be 2%. We can add this sign here and by the way, here, and here, and here also. And by the way, here we can also put 9,999 people out of 10,000 who is going to be healthy. If we multiply this number by this number, we are going to get this number. If we multiply this number by this number, we are going to get this number. Now, when we multiply this number by this number, 2 divided by 100, which is 2%, we are going to get 19,998 people who is going to be healthy, but the test is going to show that they are not healthy. So this is going to be a group false positive, which according to our problem is 2% out of those people who took the test. And the rest from this group of people who don't have this disease, they're also going to take a test, and 98% out of 100 is going to show correct results, that these people don't have a disease. And this number is going to be 979,902 people. Out of this group of people who don't have a disease, with 98% accuracy, we can say that this number of people is not going to have a disease, and test is going to prove this. Now you see we have two groups. This is going to be one group to which we have to pay attention. This is going to be one person out of 100 people who has a disease, who is actually by this test would be falsely tested as negative. And here is another group who are healthy but tested falsely positive. Now let's read our question again. A random person gets tested for the disease and the result comes back positive. What is the probability that the person has a disease? In this case, our calculations are going to be as follows. So if you got positive results, that means that you belong to this group of 99 people who has a disease and also were test positive. And this is 99 over, but actually we have also a group of people who don't have a disease, but they are actually were tested positive. So we have to divide by 99 plus 19,998. And we are going to get 0.0049. And if you need an answer in percent form, we have to multiply by 100. This basically means that we have to move this decimal point to the right 2 places. And our answer is going to be 0.5%. And as you see, this is very drastically different from what you probably predicted at the beginning of the problem, that with such accuracy, false positive 2%, false negative 1%, that if you test positive, then you have a disease would be somewhere between 97 and 99%. But now you see that actual number is going to be, if you test positive, probability that you really have a disease would be 0.49%, 0.5%, not 97, not 98 or 99. In other words, we also can say that if you got positive result for this test that you have a disease, probability that you don't have a disease would be 99.51%. And the other conclusion would be that a test with such false positive and such false negative doesn't make any sense. Those probably from the first glance you were thinking that this is high accurate test. I hope now you understand how to solve this type of problems. Just use fork line method. It is very easy. And this is all for today. Subscribe and see you in the next video. Goodbye.